Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Sabbath Talk. It's your brother Yah. Today is early in the Sabbath day. Still dark. But I wanted to get this teaching out uh, prior to going to a funeral today. My grandfather, Horace Hall, he made 100 years old. He's going to be lay with the Father. He's going to go as far as the breath goes back to the Father. He's going to join the ones that already have gone to the other side. So today will be his funeral. So I'm gonna go ahead and pre-record this a little early. And like I say, my grandfather made 100 years old. He was working on 101. Next month would have been he's been closing in on it. So, but awesome man. His name he's a bishop. So Bishop Horace Hall, and so you know he was one that I modeled myself after, and we got a lot of characteristics. He loves the Bible. I love the Bible. He liked the Word, and holds on to the Word just like I try to do that as the way he did. So with that being said, it's early, so I'm gonna do this before I start getting ready for the services today. But today I want to talk a little bit about gatekeepers. Okay, I know a lot of people when it comes to these type of things of spiritual warfare that they don't understand, like what an evil altar is versus a good altar, and things like monitoring spirits. A personal note, last it's early in the morning, so I gotta get my voice together. But as far as spiritual warfare is concerned, because we think, all we have to do is believe in Mashiach Yeshua, and all these things are taken care of. Well, to a degree, they are. But contracts, evil contracts, and these type of things, evil altars that are made, are still current. Like, for instance, you could be a believer, but yet you have a generational evil altar that's still present. Well, it's still going to affect you. It's going to hinder you. It is going to still be passed on. And but there's two types of altars. There's a good altar and a bad altar. Okay, an example of a good altar is the altar that Abraham built years prior to Jacob going to that same place and building the altar. Okay, because an altar is a place of sacrifice. For instance, and it is a place where a covenant is made, and it's the place where heaven meets earth. So this is just some of the things that an altar does. People use altars today, especially in new age religion and things like that, when they're working spells and working magic and different type of things that they want to do, because it also can bring the demonic to a place, and a lot of that happens today. And a lot of these are covenants that family members have made, and they still affect the children, because the altar that Abraham built, he for one, he never met Jacob, because he was already had passed, and Jacob goes to the same place and lay his head on the rock, and the gates of heaven were open, and that's what we're going to talk about today, is gates. Because he was seeing the angels, and he built the altar there, but a good altar. Okay, we have a bad altar, we have a good altar. You got to understand those things. The demonic use it as a place of, first of all, just to give a quick backdrop of how the spirit realm works. On the evil side, a demon has to have a body. Okay, certain laws and principles in the heavens that 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 transpire, and they don't break certain laws. Okay, one of them is a demon needs a body. Okay, it needs a host. So a lot of times, how it gets from the spiritual realm to this earthly realm where we at to activate is it needs a body, and sin helps it do that, and then you got people that volunteer their body to do that. You know what I'm saying? To get their riches, they sell their soul. For instance, a lot of people do it in the industry, for instance, and it don't necessarily have to be in the industry to do it. You can open up gates and portals, with Ouija boards and different things like that. People have did those things as a child, but those doors are still open, and you have to close off all them doors to get. And it's the thing, because we believe that okay, the Most High, for instance, can put you in the right place. You know what I'm saying. You can put you in the right city, but if those gates are closed against you, you know what? You'll only be hindered to go so far. And you're not gonna get to a lot of your inheritance, because a lot of your inheritance is hell. You ever just wonder why, people struggle with finances, for instance, or with business? It's because those gates are open. Because gates are places where, if we talking biblically, gates are places where inheritance is given, and prosperity is given, and a lot of other things. And you can read about that in the story of Jericho, because they shut the gates up. But I want to put the cart before the horse. So it is very important to know these subjects. But just a quick backdrop. I prayed the evil altars of my life, and one of the things I was able to do with my grandfather was we broke our family curse, and we prayed the evil altars off our life. And he was basically, in a hospice state at this junction, and he wasn't awake the entire time. And me and two other representatives of the family prayed for every possible gate prayer, every possible sin to be covered, and we stood in the gap for him. And it's amazing, at the end of it, he woke up and he raised his hand and held out all our hands to show that he understood, and that was a beautiful thing, and that he was in agreement. So, and trust me, we covered a long line, and we set a new altar up for our family to break the previous general curses that were given against it. So that started my we could just say my journey. And then last week I went on another journey dealing with evil monitoring spirits, how Satan uses demonic spirits to hold you back. For instance, it's always watchers and always people, and they put whether on this side, working from this side, the earthly realm, to do it, also from the spiritual side, how he does things, and he does these things to facilitate in how altars work. Altars are basically also, when evil altars are set up and they're still functioning, they're like power boosters. They're ways because he's not omnipresent like the Most High. He can't be everywhere. Okay, the Most High can be everywhere at one time. Hashiton cannot be. So what he does is set up evil altars, and evil altars in different places, and he can come back to those altars and check. Okay, I haven't talked about evil altars, so you might not understand that, but I have to go back and teach that. But so much in preparation to that, I'm still working on that. So yeah. But I also the week. So I prayed off all evil altars that are standing against myself and my people, and with my people, and also the days later, I did where I prayed against monitoring spirits. And when you start getting into this type of warfare, strange things happen. I noticed after the prayer, like I started seeing like people, you know, you know, I would talk to them in everyday life, and then all of a sudden, you don't talk to them no more. Once that prayer went out, and I asked the evil monitoring spirits, we went into that realm. I went into that realm, and all of a sudden, people, they just start disappearing. They stop calling. They stop, and I accredited it to you know the prayer did just that. And it's amazing how you think you understand something, and how people, but it's kind of funny. People are there strategically in your life to throw you off the course. And it was amazing because I never would have saw a few people that would just fall off the grid like that. But may the Most High's will be done, and I see just how this works, and all kind of different. Because man, these people even use animals. It's worth. It's I know of people how they use monitoring spirits. Like they use animals, birds. They can use. They go into the spiritual realm through evilness and monitor the just. You know what I'm saying? And these people are doing these things in your life. Chances are you know plenty of them. You know at least 2 or 3 of them. And they're doing it to you. You just don't know what's going on. And I know people that have done this type of thing. And it was for a while that I was coming across a lot of snakes and stuff, and I was killing them. And I know if you go back to some of my older videos, you can see, what I was, killing them and stuff. And that was just really, man, that was a plot against me. You know what I'm saying? And it's several ways that they can come. So, and then I went to this point where I'm at now is evil gatekeepers. So if you're taking 2 steps forward to take 2 steps back, chances are you have an evil altar present, or generational curse present, and also, you have a strong man on your blocking a lot of your destiny, your finances, your ministries, and different things like this, because Satan set up a strong man. I'm gonna show you that in the scripture. He uses a strong man and evil gatekeepers, and they strategically all around you. And doesn't matter much if you can a lot of people think, well, I have Christ, and I got the Messiah, and I don't have to worry about that. Well, I'm gonna tell you, you can have that, but I'm gonna tell you, you can be in a divine place. You can be in a divine place. You can be where the Most High wants you, the city where the Most High wants you, but still not reach your potential. You can be exactly where He wants you. But guess what? You will never tap in. And I'm going to show you through these scriptures how your inheritance, your rights are being blocked. If you are not receiving life, and life more abundantly, like the scriptures say, all this lack and all this, these health problems stuff, because it's a gatekeeper there, and you got to close off those evil gatekeepers. And I'm gonna promise you, and I'm gonna show you how this thing works, whether it's a good gate or bad gate, because Yeshua told us to enter into the straight gate. You know what I'm saying? and you don't want to in the narrow gate. You don't want to be in the straight gate. Say the Bible. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump off into the Psalms. Let me jump off into Psalms 115 to show you that a lot of this is going on. A lot of this is going on. Okay. And we're in Psalms 115 and 11. It says, ye that fear Yah, trust in Yah. He is their help and their shield. And a lot of us do. We fear the Most High to a degree, and we have trust in the Most High to a degree. And like I say, He can put you in the right place. He can give you divine allocations to be in a certain place, right? But yet, you will still go unfulfilled. And I'm gonna show you that, because these gates is very important. Until you bind that strong man and get into the gate, blessings are blocked from you. You know what I'm saying? Until you physically take down the kingdom of heaven, suffers violence, like the scriptures say. You're gonna have to violently remove that strong man off your life, whether it's blocking health, whether it's blocking. Some people have death curses in their family. Some people, they have various evil covenants against them. So this is a tool or a weapon that you're gonna, and I'm gonna show you beyond the shadow of a doubt that your inheritance from the Father is behind the gate. Okay, it's important that you go through, as life go on, you go through certain gates. And I'm gonna try to make it plain and clear. Okay, this is at 12. It says, Yah has been, or it says the Lord, or Yah has been mindful of us. He will bless us. He will bless the house of Israel. He will bless the house of Aaron. And he is mindful of us. You know what I'm saying? He can put us in the right place. But just because he put you in the right place doesn't mean that you're going to because there's a such thing as free will. He can introduce you to the right woman. He can introduce you to the right man. But he's not gonna make you be with that person. And then we don't wanna do or go and facilitate the blessing through a person that he has given us. We find through the past relationships or past places that we hadn't got past, we'll go and mess that up and then want God to give us something else. And like he hadn't done the work. He done the work by putting that person in your life, and it is what it is. Okay, he will bless them that fear Yah, both small and great. So the Most High is always mindful, and he want to bless people, and he can put you in the right place. But evil gates can stop you from getting and tapping into that place. And it says that Yah, or the Lord, as it says there, shall increase you more and more. You and your children. He wants to do these things. But I promise you, if them evil altars are present, and you got them monitoring spirits that these gatekeepers are using to hold you in captivity to a degree, you wondering, you feeling like the Most High promised you something that's not coming to fruition. Chances are you got a gatekeeper that's blocking, and you haven't went through that gate for sure. Because when you go through that gate, then I'm gonna tell you just like this, the blessings are restored, and they're gonna come. Period. And that was the thing. Like, as I started tearing these altars down, I noticed prosperity was coming back. I noticed, it seemed like I had my mind better. I noticed that I started having a different insight on like what's going on this earth and the people around. And I started peeping, like, their attitudes toward me and different things like that. And I started being watchful. And, it helped me, as far as experience. And then, I want to open up a business. And, I didn't have, and then like credit, because in this world you use credit, your credit score got to credit score got to be a certain way, and this and that. All those things got fixed immediately. Once these, you know, that was prayed, and these gates were open to me where I can go in, and these evil altars destroyed, and people were moved out of my life. Then you start. What happens is you start getting more. The Most High send you more people to get the task, or however the task He's gonna get it done. He find a way to get it done for you. So you're not lack, and like I said, it just further taught me that how it really, really is. It's a spiritual warfare going on. So He wants to increase us more and more. When you start seeing lack and stuff, a lot of times it's a good indicator. I'm gonna stop it right here so I can get something to drink. Okay, I'm back. It's early in the morning. I'm trying to get my voice together. And, the Most High He's mindful. He does want to increase us. But when you start, like, noticing this lack there, and and it's just like things are drying up around you, that's a good indication that there's an evil altar present, and that you're not definitely going through the gates to obtain the things that the Most High have for us, but they are behind gates, and I'm going to show that soon. It says, ye are blessed of the Most High. Ye are blessed of the Lord, which have made heaven and earth. And it says, the heaven, even heavens, are Yah's, but the earth is given to the children of men. Now it's three. The Bible talks about three heavens. Okay, you have earth realm, which people that are living in these earth suits. You see mine. Okay, that's one realm. Then you have what's called the heavenlies, the part above the clouds, all the way to the bottom level of the third heaven. Okay, this is called the heavenlies. This is where Satan and a lot of his minions operating. Okay, and then the Most High is on top of that. Okay, which is in the third heaven. Okay, this is how it works. Now, when you pray, your prayers go up. The scriptures tell you that your prayers go up when you pray. Okay, so and if you look in Revelation 21:8, it'll tell you that, for instance, let's get that to show you how the prayers go up when you and I pray. 21:3. Okay, that's hold on. I got something backwards. Hold on. Wait a minute. 8:3. I'm sorry. Revelation 8:3. Good thing I went here. Okay. Now, this is an example of it. Revelation 8:3. It says another angel came and stood at the altar, because altars are how the spiritual commune with it's an avenue how the spiritual, whether good or bad, commune with the person in this earthly realm. Now, we're in the earthly realm. We're dealing with the law, statutes, commandments of the earthly realm. Just like, as long as you're in this realm, gravity holds you, for instance. Okay, you're bound because you're in this suit, even though you're a spiritual being. Okay, so in order for heaven to meet earth, it's an altar present. And it says another angel came and stood at the altar, having a gold censer, and it was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all the saints upon a golden altar, which was before the throne. So the angel would take the smoke of the incense and mix it with the prayers of the saints, as you can see this fourth verse. And the smoke and incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before Elohim, up before God out of the angel's hand. So our prayers go up. So when you're in this earthly realm and you're praying and you're trying to obtain favor, you're trying to, be blessed by the Most High, and you offer your prayer, or to be heard by the Most High, you offer your prayer. Your prayers go up. Okay, this angel takes them and brings before the altar of the Most High, before the throne of the Most High on the altar. Okay, now, when you pray, from the demonic realm, your prayers going up, they are trying to, once they get above them clouds, they are trying to, like that signal here on earth, we're going to use a signal, to explain it, a signal, you said it, a signal, that demonic realm is going to intercept that and deal with that, just like they did Daniel, where they delayed, because it wasn't, and I can show you beyond the shadow of a doubt, it wasn't that Daniel wasn't upstanding, and Daniel was sufficient with the Most High and was a believer in the Most High, but you see his prayers was hindered for 3 weeks. You understand what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter because you have Hamashiach, Yahushua, or Jesus. You know what I'm saying? These things, it's a war going on, and you got to know how to fight this war, how to get in this war and have, because this is a subject that really not taught, how to get your blessings back, how to get your favor back, how to get somewhere in the Most High. You're going to have to fight. You're going to have to think strategic. But it's telling you here in Psalms 115, it's telling you, it says, but the earth have he given to the children of men. So, and also in Job, it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Job 9:24. Let's go ahead and get that. Ayub in Hebrew, because we like to use the tongue of our ancestors. A lot of, let's see, 9:24. A lot of these ain't no J's in no Hebrew. But anyway, this is Job chapter 9, verse 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? The earth is given into the hand of wicked, temporarily, because there's a lot of wicked people running this earth right now. We know that to be manifest because there's a lot of wickedness going on. There are a whole lot of wickedness. And when the Most High originally put man over this earth through Adam or Ahadam, he had dominion. But see, dominion was lost through sin. And sin is what puts the devil, demonic realm, and gatekeepers and strong man in motion. And we can see way back here in Genesis, because prior to the fall, guess what? He had no problem communing with the Creator. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at it. Genesis 2:15. And the Lord God and Yahweh Elohim took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden, to dress it and keep it. We had the earth. That was the job of Adam. And it says, and the Lord thy Elohim commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. In the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. Okay, so death was put onto this earth, sin was put onto this earth. because we know that they dealt with it. And this is how the dominion was stripped of them. And this is how Satan seized it, right here. And it says, and the Lord thy God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet. Okay, a woman was created out of the ground. It said that Yah thy Elohim formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them to Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. So he had the meaning. You see that? He was running some things. And Adam gave names to all the cattle and all the fowl of the air and every beast of the field. But for Adam there was none found, and help meet for him. So all the animals had a helpmate, but Adam didn't have one. And it says, and the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Most High thy Elohim had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh, and she shall be called woman, because she was taken out of a man. See, it is important here to understand this is a order. You know, a lot of people got it back. You know, the very purpose of a woman was made to be a helpmate to a male. But nowadays we got it so backwards. You got people bound, and then you're gonna look in this situation. She's gonna go off, and he gonna go off because she go off. You know, yo, as a man, you know, it says the head of Yeshua, or it says Jesus is God, and the head of every man is Christ, and the head of every woman is a man. If we will follow those directions, nowadays so much woman worship up line. Let me tell you something. It's all these you know, these women so cute. I look at them, they doing all that. We don't need no man, the feminist movement and all this going on. But let me tell you, the times are coming, and we are getting there. It's starting to pick up. You know, I tell you what, we're gonna see if that's gonna protect you. Do you know in the Bible, it talks about the end times, and it talks about, especially in the Apocrypha, second Ezra and first Ezra. It deals with a lot, and I know a lot of y'all probably haven't read it because some people don't even know what the Apocrypha is. That it's part of the Bible that's put with the Bible. That's a whole nother thing, that it talks a lot about tribulation, and it talks about how, for instance, I'm gonna just take a few about the starvation, how man is gonna be wanting food, and you're not gonna be able to have it. You know, I watched this one. They've been showing you for years. It's this one movie, for instance. They were spraying something in the air, and it was killing the people that had guards. You know, man, it's a lot of things gonna be happening and going on through this time. You know, it's earthly. You feeling how hot it is out there? How you gonna be able to keep a guard? You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they're drying up. You know, and it's a lot going on. And it's gonna be pestilence and famine, and not to mention the violence. What's going to happen when a lot of these people aren't going to have food? The Bible tells you they're going to be in small bands. It tells you that they're going to be raping women, because you ain't going to be able to call 911. See, this feminist movement, you're going to wish that you had a strong male then, and a male with the understanding and the backbone and the fortitude to protect and to provide and to be spiritually linked with the Most High. Because you can have all this, if you're not going to be spiritually linked with the Most High, pretty much the 2/3 are going to fall. You're definitely going to fall in that time. Same way like during the time of Moshe or Moses, anybody over 21, he just put them in the desert for 40 years and just weeded them out. Okay, but you can promise that's coming, and that demonic realm is coming. They talk about aliens and all this, but in Revelation it tells you that those fallen spirits, they want to call them aliens. They're going to be stinging men, and men going to wish that they die. That time is coming soon, and you're starting to see, evidence of that. And it's starting to pop up on videos of these so-called aliens / demons that are going around the earth right now. And if you don't have the seal of the Most High, they're going to make you wish that you die, and you're gonna want to die. You understand what I'm saying? So, go ahead and be cute now, but the cuteness running out. You notice how high that gas is getting. You notice how bills is how when you go to the store right now, like it ain't nothing to drop $300 in the store and ain't hardly got nothing. But I will tell you the time coming. So we have Adam here, and they both were naked, and Adam and his wife wasn't ashamed. Verse 25. We're gonna go to the next chapter. This is the fallen man. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Most High thy Elohim had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, have God said, ye should not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman saidest thou unto the serpent, we may eat of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye not touch it, lest ye die. So all Satan did was ask Eve a question. And this is the answer that she got back. So she should have told him to move around after that. Okay, you've been educated, now move around. But notice he didn't force her to do anything. He just posed a question. And her mind let her know. And this is the insight what she was thinking about. Because notice, if he'd have came to Adam with that, Adam would have probably busted him up or just, hey man, you got to move around. You know what I'm saying? And it said, but to show you how this go. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. Just pose that thought. And the rest of her thinking went in place. What she did from this point on went left. For God do know it that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And just put this, so you want to be, see right here, right at this junction right here, this is somebody want to be like the Most High. Instead of, how you going to be greater than the Creator that created you? This is somebody right here that has the mind frame, the wrong mind frame. You understand what I'm saying? That's trying to assert themselves a certain way. And I noticed there's a lot of going on in today's time frame. The so-called every nation of people, this independent woman movement. You don't see that in the Caucasian nation because they know that they need their man. In the Asian place, just so-called black people, the separatism. You understand what I'm saying? I'm so cute and this and that. Man, let me tell you, at the end of the day, the actions from that moment, man, you're going to be just like God. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to be that way. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and ate it, and gave it unto her husband with her, and he did eat. See, This is where love is for suckers right here. Let me tell you something. Under any other pretense, nah, it ain't for suckers. But this one, yeah. You know, you already know what the Most High said. You can't let no woman be, first of all, it is a sin. And I know in this popular day and age, it'll make somebody mad. Because it says the head of every woman is a man. But why would a man need you? Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to backtrack. It is a lot of weak men out there. You understand what I'm saying? Look, a woman should be with you because she understands your leadership. She understands out of love, and she understands your leadership, and she's trying to be a helpmate to you. Nowadays, like I say, most of the time, this is the best way for me to measure a person. Just don't give them what they want, and they will show you their true self. Just don't give them what they want. A lot of people will be with you and propose, and even this is friend, not necessarily just a woman, but this is, as long as your friends can get what you want from you, everything is cool, and they won't show themselves as an enemy, until they can't get what they want. And then see if they want to hang around. Some will, and that's how you know the true blue versus the ones that's an opportunity. It's all about them, this and that. When you have your time and everybody gonna have their time to grieve. Everybody gonna have their time where they're not on top. You understand what I'm saying? That's a part of life, and it doesn't mean that you're not blessed, but you're not in the most favor. David had to go through something. David had to be on the run, but he also was a friend of the Most High. Wait till it's your time. May the Most High have mercy and give you what you need at that time. Because, like I say, I think that was Lil Kiki said, they got that saying, it's lonely at the top. But he said he gonna say it's lonely at the bottom, because it really is. Because most people are gonna leave, but that's okay, because they never was meant to be there. So he gonna eat on some sucker type stuff, and the eyes of them were open, and they knew, and they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves able. So we know this, what happened, they was hiding and stuff like that. And so if you keep reading down, it's the judgment of it. And when you drop to 3:16, for instance. 3:16, for instance. It says, unto the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow at thy conception. So having a baby, it's going to hurt. In sorrow, y'all shall bring forth children, and thy desire to be to your husband, and he shall rule over thee. It is right here. This is the understanding. First of all, use a helpmate. But a lot of people, they on some sucker stuff, because they'll try to say, well, you come out of a woman, you ain't Adam. But at the same time, you got to look at the purpose that a person was made for. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't change the fact that from that point on that this order wasn't given. Anything together, it's a lot of unruly people on this earth. You know what I'm saying? They don't want order. But this is when Adam had his dominion. And then this is when sin was allowed to come in. And where there's sin present, I'm going to tell you, it's a closed gate for you. And as long as it's a sin on the books that hadn't been repented for, or it's a contract that haven't been repented for, guess what? It has dominion over you. So, this is Romans 6:14. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for ye are not under the law, but under grace. See, there goes somebody. See, sin don't have dominion over me, because under grace, through Hamashiach, Yahushua, or up under Christ, those gates don't matter. See, this is how the ignorant talk and perceive that thought. Through Christ, I have strength. Yeah, you do. That's how you overcome these gatekeepers. But until you go and tear these gates down, the strong men that's over these gates and tear these gates down, you can't get to your full potential. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You have dominion. You better not have sin. I'm going to just say, sin does not have dominion over you, for you are not under law, but under grace. What then? Shall sin, because we are not under the law, but under, what then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? It says, God forbid. It says, know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey, whether sin unto death or obedience unto righteousness. So whatever you and I serve, like the Most High got law, statutes, and commandments, for instance. He got dietary law, for instance. When we violate that, we are serving sin. Okay? But I hear people all the time, well, I got grace and grace. And let me tell you something. This back all the way up to the beginning of this chapter. It said, what shall we say then? Shall we continue to sin that grace may abound, that grace may cover? God forbid. So we ain't going to be out here sinning while grace is going to cover it. You understand what I'm saying? It says, we that are dead to sin live there any longer therein. It says, know ye not that so many of us were baptized into Hamashiach Yeshua, or Jesus Christ, as say, were baptized into his death. Therefore we are buried with him by baptism unto death, that like as Christ was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we should walk in newness of life. So we should be dead to sin once we decide to give our life up. But I promise you, if we haven't done that efficiently and effectively, it's a gate that's going to block you off. And I know y'all heard this time and time and time again. And he was giving game. Yeshua was giving game. In Matthew 18 chapter, let's put the red letter up there. 18 chapter, 18 verse. It says, verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever ye shall loose on earth shall be loose in heaven. I want you to remember this key thing right here. Okay, when it comes to that strong man that's over an area of your life, no, that strong man does not have your whole life, but you're a believer and you have, for instance, a blood contract through your generational curse, through your foreparents. You understand what I'm saying? That still acts upon you until somebody, and then even an example of that is Daniel. Daniel prayed the curse off of Israel. Even though he wasn't physically doing some of the things he prayed for the Most High against, but he had to do that to get the curse off Israel. And whatsoever you bound on earth, so that strong man, that person working against you, that's on this earth, and that strong man that's causing problems, and these people with these demonic contracts that or these people who wish all this evil upon you or whatever, is that's in operation. What you bind on this earth, because believe me, that spiritual person here that's doing it on this side is being manipulated by a gatekeeper in the spiritual. You understand what I'm saying? So whatever you bind, I want you to remember this key thing here. Whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. So whatever agent that's here, you bind the works of their dark works against you, guess what? They're also bound in heaven through the person that's operating with the person that's trying to give you all this darkness. But we can be delivered today. I'm here to tell you, and I'm gonna start showing you how you can start getting this ball rolling. We might not finish this whole thing today because the video is gonna be a certain amount of time. We might have to break it down over, and we don't want to give you too much because I want you to be real careful to digest what's going on. This is Proverbs 11:21. It says, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. So to be delivered, even in the Lord's Prayer, it said, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Then it gets down to the part, and it says, deliver us from evil. Even in the prayer that what's called the Lord's Prayer in the renewed testament or the New Testament, it says deliverance is asked for in that prayer. We think as we seasoned believers that we don't have to that's automatically covered. We got to be delivered from a whole lot of stuff. You just don't become you give your life over to the Most High, and then the next day you're a professional. You're gonna have some successes and you're gonna have some failure, which is through deliverance. You know what I'm saying? Your whole time of your walk, not just in the beginning. We want to act like we done got somewhere after about 6 months. No, it don't work like that. Now, I'm gonna tell you just like this. The Most High can tell you to come to a city, for instance, and He give you a divine allocation to go to a certain city or a certain place, right? And you go there. He tells you, he put an unction that you should go to New York City, or you should go to Houston, or you should go to wherever. And you go. That doesn't mean because you went that all the blessings are gonna come to you. You just in the right place. You understand what I'm saying? You met the first part of that. You understand what I'm saying? But you have to go through a series of gates, and I'm gonna show you that real soon. Here we get to the part where we gonna start talking about the gate. But I'm gonna go to Psalms 133. And it says, for as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion, for there the Lord commanded the blessing, even forevermore. So just like in a certain place, just like, this is an example where the Most High is saying the dew of Hermon, in that place, in that particular place, because the Most High deals with particulars. You know what I'm saying? You have to particularly, especially when you're trying to overcome Satan. He's a legalist. I want you to understand that. And if you leave something out in your prayer and you haven't covered that, then it leaves that gate, that door. You understand what I'm saying? You have to close off door and gates when you're dealing with him. Because this is saying, I'm just using the scripture because it says the dew in Hermon. That's a specific place. And upon the mountains of Zion. You know what I'm saying? And it's just saying even life and life forevermore. So it is important. And the only way we're going to go to the Most High Son here, Hamashiach Yeshua, and we're going to start talking a little bit about these gates. And I'm going to go to John chapter 10, because it's a certain order in gates. It's a certain order in gates. When you go in your house, you don't go through the window. You know what I'm saying? You go through a door. A door is a way in. For instance, people spend great money on locks for their door. Why do you just think about it. It's just talking general. Why do you put a lock on your front door? People go to the point of the matter where they will put not only one lock, several locks, like a deadbolt, because your riches, the things that are yours, the blessings that are yours, the inheritance that's yours, you trying to keep it. You put that lock on there to keep people out. You understand what I'm saying? That's the purpose of you having a lock on your front door, and you go through painstakingly to do it. And then some got doorbell cameras, cameras on that. But you put cameras and everything for your goods inside. Just think about it in the natural. You do that right now. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all got cameras. Some of y'all, but you make sure you put that deadbolt on there. You leave the windows locked. Doors are the way in to protect your goods. And you do it in the physical now. You do it in the physical right now. Most of y'all have a deadbolt lock or a doorbell camera. You trying to monitor who come in and who come out of your house. Okay? And this is the way it goes in your blessings too. So we're talking about the parable of the good shepherd. St. John or Yehukanan in Hebrew 10:1. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entered not by the door into the sheepfold have coming up some other way. The same is a thief and a robber. But he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. When the sheep come into the fold, the shepherd's right there, standing at the entrance. If you try to come in anyway, because notice, if somebody is driving by and they see somebody climbing in your window, they might call the police on that person because they're going to say, that's uncommon, that the person ain't going to go through the door, you are trying to get in another way. You put all this money, and that's the thing. Now, behind me is a window. Now, I got all this deadbolt and stuff. You know how easy it is to crack a window pane and open it and pull up the thing. But we got all this money because it makes us, our being feels good. You know what I'm saying? Like we protected to it. Let me tell you something. Only protection is in the Most High Abba Yah. So to him the porter opened, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calleth his own sheep by name and leadeth them out. And when he put forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. Because in Yeshua, you know what I'm saying, by us following him is protection. And the only way to have that protection is to follow. And it says, and the stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him. For they know not the voice of strangers. And that's the good sheep. Now this parable spake Yeshua unto them, but they understood not what they were which he spake unto them. And then Yeshua said again, verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. All that came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out to find pasture. The thief cometh not but to steal and to kill. Ain't that what the demonic realm want to do? Because you got to come through a gate to get in, to get this. To get this understanding, the shepherd stands at the sheepfold, at the door. You understand what I'm saying? To get this. Without, you can't come in no other way. Because you're gonna try to get in and you're a thief and a robber. You have to follow protocol, because this is how the demonic realm, they got plenty of protocol. It's the believer don't really have no protocol. We want to believe and do almost anything we make up in our mind what we think the Most High want. But it's an order, and this is why you're not reaching your greatest potential. And it says, but notice here, he's at the door. And he's a good gatekeeper. You understand what I'm saying? Yeshua here. And it said, I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture, the good life. The thief cometh not but to steal your dream, stop your businesses from, it can be a certain gatekeeper that's over your business. He may not be touching your person per se as much as they just there to make sure you don't financially make it in the business. Or they're there to stop your ministry. It's gatekeepers for specific things, and if you don't attack those strong men and those gatekeepers and bind them, as the scripture says, then guess what? They're gonna still have residence over. This is how you can be in a city, right? But certain parts of the city you can't go in, then because you don't have access to certain parts of the city. And this is where some believers are at. You can go certain places. You're in the right place as a divine allocation. You went where God told you to be, but you're not reaching that potential because you don't have access to get to that part of the city that you need to get to. And this is how gatekeepers have a lot. They determine if you can get in and get out, and you got to get those negative gatekeepers that are holding your blessings back. You got to get them out of the picture, because they come to steal, kill, and destroy. They either steal your dream, kill your dream, or to destroy. And this is why a lot of people get in places where they feel like, man, I had a divine allocation to be in a specific place, and it just seems like nothing I'm doing working, I'm being hindered, and then they get mad at the Most High, and then they don't fulfill their destiny. See, this is how a lot of that happens. It's because they where they supposed to be, but they don't have access to the place to get to where they need to be. This is how a gatekeeper. This is the part of spiritual warfare, because something, like for instance, the overall wellness of the person is okay, but that gatekeeper, like I said, can be specifically stopping your business, specifically stopping your ministry, particularly stopping a certain area of your life. Okay, you have to bind them up. Once you bind them up, and there's no longer nobody blocking the gate that'll stop. And I'm gonna show you how, just like I told you the example in your house, how you have the things that your belongings, your inheritance, your things, you put a great lock on the door to keep it in. Guess what? I'm gonna show you all kind of examples with the children of Israel here in Charlotte. And we're gonna go over this first part. But at the door, at the gate, you have the good shepherd. I'm showing you the good example. And it says, the thief cometh not but to rob, kill, and destroy. He said, I cometh that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. For I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for his sheep. But he that is a hireling are not the shepherd, whose own sheep are not. See the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep and flee, and the wolf catches them and scatter the sheep. Like I say, that's exactly what, when you look, I think it's in the book of Micah or the book of Malachi, the shepherds were becoming the hirelings. They were just in it for the profit, you know what I'm saying? To get paid, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, but they ain't gonna give their life, you know what I'm saying? They gonna run when the wolf come. You know what I'm saying? So basically this whole passage here is just basically talking about he stands at the door of the gate. And if you're gonna come in through the gate, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have to come in through Hamashiach Yahushua. But gates carry your inheritance, like I said. And it says, and see, this is how Satan strategically put certain gatekeepers and strong men around you so he can monitor your life. You understand what I'm saying? Because he's not omnipresent. He's not sitting up there looking at you the whole time. But he got people that are watching, which are called monitoring spirits and gatekeepers. And they're standing there doing, keeping an eye on you. And then when Satan want to administer something, he go back and check with them. They can administer something to you. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we got Joshua 6. Now, we're going to talk about Jericho. And then this is Joshua chapter 6. And I'm going to show you how the devil operates this gate. And it says, now Jericho was straightly shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out and none came in. And the Lord said and Yah said unto Joshua, see, I have given unto you in thy hand Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor. But they was behind a wall. Now Satan had where nothing can go in and nothing can go out. The people of Jericho was protecting their assets. They had a high fence all around, and they had these big giant gates. Now for the children of Israel to get what they had to possess them, they had to get through the gate. But the Most High had them right there at Jericho. They was standing right there at Jericho. They was in a divine allocation. They was standing right there in Jericho. But they didn't have the blessing at that point. And this is how you could be in a divine place, but if you're not operating in what the Most High called you to do, or support the ministry that you're supposed to support, or be in the right place to give ministry, and you're not there. You can put you in the right place, put you in the right city, and you will not fulfill your destiny, and you won't feel it nowhere else. Because a lot of times in our human understanding, we think, well, let me tell you something. Some people miss their call their entire life. They are where the Most High want them to be, but they're not going to pass the gate to get the blessings. Because right there, the children of Israel at this point are at the divine allocation, where the divine place where they're supposed to be. But the blessings are behind the wall, and Satan done shut the gates. You understand what I'm saying? He done shut the gates. They can't go in there and get them. So I'm showing you, as a believer, you can be in a divine place and at the place, but you will never operate, in the place. And I'm gonna go to Genesis. I'm gonna break here and go to Genesis 28 just to show you something real quick. And just to show you, Jacob was in the gateway. And Jacob awakened out of his sleep, and he said, surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew not. And he was afraid of how dreadful is this place. And there's none other than the house of God. This is the gate of heaven. Heaven have gates. Now, I just talked about that earlier, how Abraham never met Jacob, because he died before Jacob was, because remember, Abraham had Isaac. His sons was Isaac and Esau. Okay, he had built the altar at this same place prior to Jacob coming and laying his head on one of the rocks where the altar. Now, to show you how altars still work, Abraham was already dead, but that altar, the angels were still meeting at that place, going up at that place for where Abraham, his predecessor, Jacob's predecessor was, that made that altar. That gate is still being used by the angels to open and come back, that altar that was there. So altars, and that's the same way, like I say, he never met, he was already dead before Jacob. to show you that's how generational altars are. Is because they are still there well after the person either made a good one or on the other side made an evil one. You know, maybe somebody went and seen the suit sale. Maybe somebody over here dealing with Ouija boards and objects of new age stuff and building fake altars, using these monitoring spirits, doing all this evil, dealing with familiar spirits. Okay, that person is open to demonic, and maybe it was a great uncle or a great aunt, or maybe you have a family member. And sometimes you know who it is, and sometimes you don't know who it is. But anytime these people come attached to spirit, and then they always want to say what spirit told me. You know what? What spirit? You at some point you need to ask them, what spirit? What spirit told you? Because I notice that's how a lot of people use this term. I watch them on YouTube and different social platforms. Spirit told me such stuff. You know what? A lot of time a person will have a pact with a demonic gatekeeper, because guess what? They established somewhere in their life as a meeting place, or as an altar, as a gate to make a deal to get information on this earthly situation, but through a monitoring spirit. But it's not the spirit of the Ruach HaKodesh or the Holy Spirit that the Father, the breath that the Father gives. They making deals with familiar spirits. You understand what I'm saying? And the end of that, if they don't get out of that, is death. And they tell you they're going to die wickedly. You understand what I'm saying? You know what? If I say the Spirit told me, you know what I'm saying, the Spirit gave me an unction, believe me, it ain't communing with what some ancestor said. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I do know that like, for instance, my grandfather, today, I'm going to bury him in a few hours, that he's going to be with the ancestors. But I'm not looking for him. I'm not going to go be talking to him. You know, Papa, what I need to do with such and such. No, I'm going to be asking the Most High for that. You understand what I'm saying? That's against the law, statutes, and commandments of the Creator. You understand what I'm saying? But people do it. And so they make these pacts with, and maybe you got an ancestor that's doing it, or a mother or a brother or something, and this is the reason that altar is still being functioning. You understand what I'm saying? That generational altar. And it's affecting you as a believer because you're tied to it by blood. Till you go bind that strong man and tear that altar down or tear that gate down, guess what? It's still going to be going. So I'm just showing you that even though Abraham was dead and gone, his grandson Jacob was going to come and lie his head on that same rock where it was, and it still was operating. And Jacob also built an altar there. Okay. So, Yeshua is the straight gate. And show you that real quick. It's only one gate. Matthew 7. Seven 13. And it says, enter ye in the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many thereof be which go in thereat. Because because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few therefore that find it. See, at the end of the day is this. Most people are going to go the more popular way. And the more popular way is 9 out of 10, the false way. You understand what I'm saying? We got all these denominations and all these, but you can't find none of them in the Bible, right? But this is where the majority of the people are. They're in these religious institutions that are broad. This is where the most people, they put all these titles upon themselves, and none of the people in the Bible were these titles. Everybody want to use the Bible and say that they inspired by Yah. You know, what Spirit told me. What Spirit? Is the Ruach HaKodesh? Come on. Now I'm not saying that through dreams and stuff that you know, but I'm not gonna take that above the Most High. Now, have I dreamed of a person in spirit? You know, and this is you know, like for instance, a seer. A seer can see into the spiritual realm and as well as I have a gift to kind of do both. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna put the where I'm gonna if I get some kind of divine inclination through the understanding of a ancestor or loved one over what God said. No. You understand what I'm saying? Now people do that, but sometimes it's a spiritual lesson being taught to a degree, and sometimes the Most High gives you through a loved one, because sometimes somebody's life is an example, and through that life of that person as an example, he may use somebody that passed. You understand what I'm saying? And you see what not to do, or remind you of what to do. It's like, for instance, I'll give you this example, but I'm not gonna say the spirit done it. Prior to my Uncle Tut dying, right? I was at my grandmother's repast, and I was talking to one of my uncles, Uncle Tut. Much loved uncle, one of my favorites. And he was telling me his story, and we was talking about how good the Most High is and this and that I should come to the church and this and that, when I really wasn't coming to that particular church at the time, the church at the time. And he was telling me about how much, work they done and this or that. And so I told him at that particular time I would come, and 10 days later he was dead. And time had went by, right? And one day I remember that conversation, and I remember him telling me, you should come to the church, and I gave my word, and I remember that time. Okay, that was a reminder. You understand what I'm saying? Versus somebody that said, well, Spirit say, like Uncle Tut talking to you right now, you should go to, sometimes it is a reminder, at the end of the day. But people worship these fallen things, and I hear people all the time, and then it seems like they have great understanding. It's because they're led by the demonic realm and gatekeepers. You know what I'm saying? I was on my way yesterday to go to Subway just for the Sabbath come in. Seen a snake crossing the street. I try to run over that sucker, man. Boy, I ain't gonna lie. I try to run that sucker, because, I understand a lot of times how this thing works, because I'm in spiritual warfare right now. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of things are there to try to strategically take me off my course, and then don't want you to hear the word as well. And I understand that you got to fight and rid these strong men, because it plays out in the physical. It's a spiritual thing, but it sometimes play out in the physical. And you got to break these physical altars that's down on this earth. And what's ever bound on earth is bound in heaven. You understand what I'm saying? If you bind that strong man down here, you're going to take care of that, because your possessions, your next business, your next adventure, your healing, your whatever is, I want you to look at it from the Joshua 6 or behind them walls. You where you supposed to be. You where God told you, where the Most High told you. But guess what? What you need is behind them gates. You can stay your whole life standing in front of that gate. And God did put you there, and you was in a divine allocation. But that was only part of it, but it's sad that you won't, and it's many people come here and live their whole entire life standing in front of that gate, won't tear that sucker down because that gate had to be, the walls of Jericho had to crumble, and it took some things on this side for them angels to tear that wall down. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what you have to do to get to where you need to be. Revelation 4:1. And this I looked, and behold, a door was open in heaven. See how everything is behind a door. Door, gate, door. The first voice which I heard was there of a trumpet talking with me, and said, Come up hither, I will show you these things which must be hereafter. It's always a door or a gate when it comes to a blessing or come to some place you need to walk or transition to. It's always, I'm just showing you, just jumping around, showing you a few things where it's always attached to a door or a gate. Okay, here's another Psalms 104. And it says, Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him, and bless his name. Everything is behind a gate. You know, it's like the holies of holies. You know, they had an outer court. When you go and look at the temple. Let me see if I can pull it up. Oh, spell. Oh man, come on. Oh, it's still spell. Okay, now. Oh God. Okay. No. Let's show you an example here. Now see how you had the inner temple here, the big part, and then you had the gates. Let's look at Solomon's temple. Let's see if they got some real good pictures. Now you can be in the outer courts. That's where a lot of people are going to stay. They're not going to be able to go to the inner court now. So you had the outer court here. So you had the outer courts right here on the side. Now some people, that's the farthest they can go. The outer court. Then you had the inner court right here in the middle. Now the Holy of Holies is in this big tall fort. Now everybody couldn't go back there but the priest. Okay, but most time people, all your blessings is inside this wall, this whole wall right here. But you got to stay in the outer court. That's where most people are living life right now, in the outer court. To have some victories, to only come to some defeats. And that's where they at. Your inheritance is in the courts. And that's why most people are going to stay. Now, before they can get those blessings, the people knew, man, I better hide all my stuff, man, put it behind this wall. The people inside of Jericho, put it behind this wall, man, because, man, my stuff, no, it was allocated that, guess what, your stuff is going to be Israel stuff, you know what I'm saying? So, let's look at Genesis 22. And houses hold your inheritance. Genesis 22 and 17. It says, Genesis 22:17. That in the blessings I bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, as the sand upon the seashore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. You see how blessings are always around the gate. As you start to see the trend here, you starting to see the trend here, and this is the trend. You know, you can see that. Go two chapters over real quick. How everything is tied behind a gate, because the Most High has things strategically placed, or places for you to go through and how to go through in our life. Here's another one. And they shall bless Rebekah, and said unto her, Thou art our sister, but thou the mother of thousands and millions are our foreparent, when our foremothers. And let thy seed possess the gate of those which hate them. See, your enemy Hashatan has gotten dominion way back from Adam. We showed that earlier, and how he's still in operation of these particular things, these particular places and hindrances. But these people, this demonic realm, it's behind. The demonic realm holds a lot of keys to you getting your blessing, or I getting my blessing, or maybe for a business, maybe for whatever that the Most High have that He promised you. You're not going to get it till you go get it from behind a gate, is what I'm saying. And I'm going to show you, it's two types of gatekeepers. I'm going to show you here is the good gatekeeper. Let's start with the good first. And the angels are ministering spirits. You know what I'm saying? And it says, Are they not all ministering spirits set forth to minister for them who shall be heirs of salvation? The angels are ministering spirits. Like when Daniel prayer went up, he was a righteous man, and his prayer went up. See, Hashatan, or Satan and his minion was hindering his prayer for 3 weeks. That's why he did a Daniel fast for 3 weeks. It wasn't that he wasn't holy, or it wasn't that the Most High didn't want to do, because he just, I read you the scripture earlier where it says it's a pleasure for the Most High to give us all the things we need to operate in ministry and things of that nature, and to businesses, and to have the goodness of this life. But sin is gonna stop that, and Satan minions battle with the archangel Michael, and they had to battle for that to happen, that Daniel wanted to happen. But those are the good gatekeepers. You understand what I'm saying? Then you have the demonic realm. And then you have what's called a strong man. I'm gonna show you. And we're gonna stop it here, because we're gonna have to. I'm trying to be mindful of making this video. I'm gonna have to do it in half, but I first trying to bring you to the point of gatekeepers, and we're gonna show you how to bind them, how to stop them, how to over areas of your life, whether it's finance, whether it's health, whether it's and how to restore what Satan took. Because see, all the things that the strong man took from you from the beginning of your life, it will be restored to you once you remove the strong man, once you remove the evil gatekeeper. And we're gonna pray for, we're gonna understand what restoration is, and all these things can be given to us, just like Ayub or Job. It was given to him back double. You understand what I'm saying? So we want those things that we should have had, the promotions we should have had. the favor we should have had. You know what I'm saying? This is to get it all back. This is the purpose of this teaching here, is to start getting us that way. But we first have to establish about the gates. And I'm going to go into more about the gates next, Most High willing, the next teaching. And it says, this is Mark 3:27. No man can enter in a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. See, it's a strong man in every family. It's that person or friend. Sometimes you can have one in your house. It could be your wife. It could be, you know what? Their sole purpose is being there to monitor you, to not let you get past a certain point, and you can possibly not know this person is that way. You know, like I said, what I learned when I started, tearing down the evil altars, and over the period of weeks, the evil altars, and getting rid of monitoring spirits, and getting rid of the evil gatekeepers. Because I prayed this prayer. I prayed my prayer last night to be removed, and I noticed it's a trend. My life is getting better because of, and my finances are restored. It's a whole lot of things opening up for me as far as business, and I always wanted LLC and different thing, and the knowledge of how to do it, because I never knew how to do it, or how to use it and operate with it, and things of that nature, and how to play the game that they play in this system, that they don't teach us, and don't allow access, you understand, to being rich, not only in, because I want to be rich in the Most High, but I also want every earthly thing and inheritance that He wants to give me on this earth, in this realm, because there's certain things that the Most High wants for us in this realm. But we first gotta bind the strong man. See, if he's sitting in there with that AK-47, looking at that camera, looking at you walk up in the driveway, see, he gonna be strapped. That strong man that's in 27. You gotta sneak up on that joker. And I'm gonna show you how to sneak up a little later. You gotta first bind him. You gotta first subdue him. See, he can't stop you from taking what's in the house. Once you bind him, tie him up. Okay. So we're gonna stop right here. This is a good place to stop. We just showed you a good gatekeeper with the angels and ministering spirits. Now, in the next one, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna go in depth on how this principle works, and how you bind the strong man, and how blessings are behind gates, and some people would say portals and doors. How all this ties in with you. So I'm gonna say peace and blessing on the Most High. Saturday is now light outside, and I'm gonna have to do the services for my grandfather, and so I want to pay tribute to my grandfather. So I want to say Shabbat Shalom. Today is a good Sabbath. It's not a sad Sabbath. It's not since my grandfather passed, and I stood next to him and prayed with the saints and different things, and heard different things he said prior to him before that moment, and to have him grab my hand, I haven't felt sad at all. I haven't cried up until this point. I'm not in shock or anything, because I knew, but I know where he's at, you know what I'm saying, and I know he's gonna be he's gonna be in a place, because I know on the other side they're watching. In paradise they're watching. They're no longer allowed to be in this earth on this physical sense, but they're watching. So I know he's going to a good place. So I'm gonna say Shabbat Shalom to everybody, and I know he get the rest you know, with the fathers, you know. So I'm saying Shabbat Shalom to everybody. Peace and blessing. Thank you for supporting Sabbath Talk. Looking forward to getting more in depth about this evil gatekeeper. And then we're going to try to get a series of tearing them evil altars down out your life and watch how fast things change, because it was an immediate change for me. So I'm saying Shabbat Shalom.